All right, I'm just going to talk about something super cool that I just learned about DNA and how you can use that to like date things in a way. So similar to how you have like radioactive like isotope dating for, artifacts. They use it all the time in anthropology, archaeology, geology, etc. You just, figure out what the half-life of whatever element and then go from there. So similar, there's a thing that you can do where you can work backward from complexity. So this is something called Moore's Law, which is that it applies to computer stuff. So Moore's Law is the computing rule that microchip complexity doubles every 18 to 24 months. And then we're going to apply that logic to the history of biological life and the genetic complexity. So they studied this like the DNA structure of like a whole bunch of things, like simple prokaryotes, worms, humans, fish, mammals, blah, 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 the whole thing, right? So they could plot it out and see, the complexity of each of them and work backward from there. So they figured out, well, their estimate was that the complexity would double approximately every 376 million years. So using this, they applied it to human DNA. And when you work backward, it ends up being 9.7 billion years old. The Earth is only 4.5 billion years old. Humans weren't even around for most of that 4.5 billion years. There's mountains and mountains of evidence that humans evolved here on planet Earth, right? So these two things are at odds with each other. Sort of, but there is explanations that would marry these two. So one being life didn't originate on Earth, right? It's where we were dropped here somehow on purpose, by accident, from a meteor, from aliens, who knows? But to me, that doesn't seem plausible because we clearly evolved alongside all of the other animals and plants and stuff like here on the Earth. We have too much similar DNA. Other option is the evolutionary cycle has been artificially accelerated. So it did start on Earth 4 billion years ago-ish. And then it goes through like these slow random mutations, right? But then there's, as I've talked about in other videos, there's these sort of bursts, like fits and starts of evolution, and then like plateaus for a long time. So, it could be that, assuming this is all like a simulation and it's code and whatever, that's built into our code, right? Like it's when we started here, that DNA wasn't as simple as we thought it was, or that it was, but it is like pre-programmed to accelerate at certain times or certain markers, like when the sun reaches a certain size or something like that. Who knows? The other option is that we were helped along, like our DNA, we did grow up here. We're hominids, purely of the Earth. And then our DNA is spliced with the DNA of something much, much older. That feels like the most plausible explanation to me. All the facts fit in. You don't have to do any extra. I mean, this is Occam's razor, right? This is, if you accept the fact that aliens exist and that they're really, really old and that they've been here a long, 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 long time, it's not too far-fetched to think that perhaps that is the explanation for that particular scientific discovery. We'll see.